Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So I decided to do another get ready with me today because I didn't really have any vlog footage from this week. It was just kind of one of those weeks where vlogging just didn't work out, but that's fine because I had a lot of fun doing my last get ready with me. So I'm gonna do another one and I'm gonna try to use, I feel like a lot of stuff is a different product than it was last time. I tried to mix it up and use more of the things that I use regularly and talk about regularly. So importantly, eyeshadow today is gonna be the Natasha Denona Gold palette. Foundation is gonna be the Dior Forever Skin foundation, which is one of my holy grail foundations. Born This Way concealer, nude lip color that I am just absolutely loving. Formula and color is fantastic. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Primer is Too Faced Hangover RX. Just speed through this part real quick because it's pretty boring. And then foundation is the Dior Forever Skin foundation. I'm in the shade 20. This is a very good color match for me. Anytime I am looking to try a new foundation, I will enter in this foundation and the shade into Temptalia's shade matrix, and it really helps me to find which shade I should be in a different foundation that I'm interested in. It's not always completely accurate, but it gives me a good starting point when I go to the store and look at the shades, or if I'm ordering online. I used to always use a foundation brush, probably like 2 years ago. I used a foundation brush a lot, and now I exclusively use a sponge. I prefer it so much better. Plus my skin is like dry, normal to dry, but I love the finish that a sponge gives, and I love the way that it feels, and it just blends it so much better in my opinion. Next up is concealer. I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way. I'm in the shade Nude. I typically like my concealer to be a shade to 2 shades lighter. I really like a nice and bright under eye and T-zone area. This shade, however, is pretty much my skin tone. Something else I used to always do is I always used to use a separate eyeshadow primer, and I haven't done that in forever. I exclusively use concealer as my eyeshadow base. In my opinion, it works just the same, if not better, than a separate eyeshadow base primer, and it saves me from buying one extra product. And then I'm gonna set with the Hourglass Loose Veil setting powder. It is my favorite. I still am using my Laura Mercier powder, the loose translucent setting powder, because I don't wanna waste it and I wanna use it up. And I mean, I still think that that's a great powder, but this one is just not as heavy. It's a little bit lighter on the skin and not as drying. The Laura Mercier one is a very mattifying, a little bit thicker of a powder. So in my opinion, perfect for people with oily skin. But since I don't really have that problem, the Hourglass one is a much better fit for me. I'm quickly going to set the rest of my face with my Laura Mercier Candle Glow powder. This is in the shade 2. I use this for all of my foundations. It works really well with all the foundations that I have and that I use. Now it's time to fill in my brows, and I am going to quickly do this off camera. If you want to see kind of a sped through version of me doing my brows, I did leave all of those clips in my last get ready with me. Brows are done. I am going to go ahead and take my Marc Jacobs Tantastic bronzer and do a little bit of contour action. I like this bronzer because I can use it either for contour or for bronzer. I'm gonna use it as a quick little contour, and then I will go in with another bronzer. I really like to mix bronzers. Also going to do the nose. Definitely a lot better than the heavy-handedness I did on my nose on my last video, but I ended up fixing it, so it was fine. And then I'm gonna go in with one of my Hourglass bronzers. This is in Luminous Bronze Light, and I'm only going to take just like a little bitty bit of this because even though this is a beautiful bronzer, it is pretty dang warm and a little orange. So I just take a little bit and just go over that just to add a little bit more warmth to the face and just a little bit of shimmer. For blush, I'm using MAC Melba, and this blush is super pigmented, so I try to be super light-handed with it because it doesn't look like it'd be super pigmented in the pan, but applied it does pack a punch in the color department. For highlighter, I'm using ANASTASIA AMREZY. I know they brought this back for holiday. I hope it's still out. I'm not sure if it is though, but it's a gorgeous highlighter. Definitely a holy grail. Okay, let's move on to eyes. I love this palette so much. It's like my absolute favorite. Basically, the look that I'm gonna do today is a look that I did this weekend, and it's one of my favorite looks to do with this palette. It's probably not gonna look much different than a lot of the looks that I do because I typically do the same kind of look. Some people may think it's boring. I don't, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go in with this shade here. The, oh, they do have names. This one's called Aria. Speaking of Aria, Arya Stark. Where are my Game of Thrones lovers at? I am in the process of rewatching all the episodes and all the seasons in preparation for the final season, which I'm so excited about. I'm on a rewatch right now, and I'm currently smack dab in the middle of season 3. I would love to know who loves Game of Thrones. And if I have enough, maybe we can do like a little watch party every week when it starts back. We can do like a little Instagram watch party or something. That would be fun. I'm gonna take the same brush. This is the Sigma E40, by the way. And I'm gonna go in with Teak, which is this shade right here. And basically go in that same area, just a little bit lower. Okay, next I am going to go into the shade Log, which is this deeper brown shade here. And I changed my brush. This is the Morphe M505. It reminds me a lot of the Sigma E40, but it's a little bit denser and a little bit more tapered. And I mentioned in my last video that I love the Sigma E40. So the last time that I was in Ulta, I decided to pop into the Morphe section to see if they had any brushes that were similar to the Sigma E40. So to blend it out, I'm gonna go in with Sandstone, which is this shade here. I went back to my Sigma E40, and I'm just gonna go over that and kind of just blend everything. Kind of gonna work a little bit out of order, but it's just because I want to get a lot of these similar shades done. So I'm gonna do my lower lash line really quick, and I'm going to mix Aria and Teak. And this brush is the Morphe M508. I'm just going to place this right against my lashes. Next, I'm gonna go in with my good old finger, and I am going to pick up the shade Kava, which is this shade here. And it's not your typical shimmer shade. Like, you can't really apply it with a brush. It's mainly like a topper. So I take it on my finger and I press it onto my lid, and I don't have to use any sort of glitter glue, any sort of tacky base, nothing. I just stamp it right onto my lid, and it stays there, and it adds a really pretty subtle sparkle and a really pretty subtle golden glow. And it's buildable as well. So I can go in with multiple layers and it won't pick up, it won't get patchy, it'll just layer really, really nicely. Just taking my E40, just in case I got a little into the crease, I can just kind of dust it away. The only thing about the gold palette is that it doesn't really have a brow bone or inner corner highlight shade. So for that, I'm gonna just go back to the ANASTASIA AMREZY highlighter and my MAC 242 and just highlight my brow bone with this. Sometimes I use this or whatever highlighter I'm using, and other times I'll just grab my Natasha Denona Camel palette and use the champagne gold in that palette as my brow bone and inner corner highlight. What's great about these shadows too is I don't have any fallout. It's pretty fantastic. I'm gonna curl my lashes, and then I'm using the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Primer, which I love, and then I'm also gonna go in with the L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara using this little duo. I always use my Voluminous Lash Primer, and I'm coming up empty soon on my Hourglass Caution Mascara, and I flip-flop a lot between high-end mascaras and drugstore mascaras. And I decided, since I was running low on my Hourglass, that instead of purchasing a high-end right away, I would just purchase a drugstore. So I decided to go with the Voluminous Mascara to, you know, complement the Voluminous Primer, and they work really well together. And for my mascaras, I always get like the blackest black shade. This one's called Blackest Black, so I always try to get the darkest shade that they have. This is a natural bristle wand, which I really like, but it's not too big and bulky, so I can get my lower lash line really, my lower lashes really well. Most people probably think that this mascara is pretty basic, and it is. Is it the most voluminous mascara? No. Is it the most curling mascara? No. Is it the most lengthening mascara? No. But it's still a very, very nice formula. It does add volume. My lashes don't get clumpy. They don't get spidery. It's just like really nice. And I don't know if it's because I use it with the primer or what. I should probably try to use it on its own to see. But I really, really like it. I'm gonna do my lower lashes right quick and I'll be back in a jiff. Gonna go ahead and set my brows with the Benefit Gimme Brow. I use the shade 3. I think for summer, I'm gonna get the, I can't remember what the exact name of it is, but it's a Benefit Brow Gel, but it adds like the highlighted effect to your brows. I think it'd be really pretty and very subtle for summertime. I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips. I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Liner. I feel like this liner is just the best. It's so universal. It wears beautifully and it goes great with so many lipsticks. Pretty much any nude lipstick you wanna wear, you can pull it off with the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. Lipstick, I'm using this one by Lancome. It's the L'Absolu Rouge Drama Matte Lipstick in the shade 510 Ardent Sand. Found out about this from Jamie Page Beauty and Alana Davison. I love both of them. I'm sure you guys know who they are, but I just love both of them. Jamie and I's skin tones are pretty much identical. A lot of her shade colors that she uses for foundations are my color. And then I love Alana because a lot of our makeup styles are very similar. Just the way that we do our makeup and the kind of tones and colors that we wear are very similar. So I do love watching both of them, and I found this lipstick thanks to their recommendations. They both have talked about this shade before as like the perfect nude, and I couldn't agree more. This is my first Lancome lipstick, and it's a beautiful formula. Absolutely beautiful formula. If you like matte lips, but you like them in a lipstick form, this is very thick and opaque, and it's very comfortable, but it's still long wearing and still matte. And to finish off, I'm going to use my MAC Fix Plus spray. This is in the lavender scent, and it's amazing if you haven't smelled it yet. And this is the final makeup look. I Love this. I can literally wear this look every single day, and it's just kind of like my go-to date night look. It's just super easy. It's the colors that I like. It's neutral on the warm side, and this lip is literally everything in a bag of chips. I love this lipstick and I love this color. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing another get ready with me. You guys seem to be pretty happy that I uploaded my last one because I don't do these very often. So you're getting one 2 weeks in a row, which is pretty crazy, but I just really enjoyed doing it. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye-bye.